So this is Mike B. I'm recording a how-to to pull up the purchase order change order screens and also the standard contract change order screens. So I'm actually on prod because I could not bring up the POCO, the purchase order change order. There didn't appear to be any data in UAT. So I'm checking. So the way I know to do that is we go click on the banner, click on home, click on procurement, requisitions and purchase orders, purchase order change order. Okay, and that is indeed the case. There is no change orders, purchase order change orders. So that's not something we can test. Then go through the same process for contracts. So we go to home, click on the banner, click on home, clicking on contracts now, and then click down on contracts. And we have standard contracts change order. And now that I've validated in prod that we do not have any purchase order change order data to validate for or with, I'm going to move back to our UAT environment and test there so I don't inadvertently get a newer transaction than we have the ability to test for. So okay, UAT. So I have a different profile for UAT. I'm clicking on actually single sign-on. And log in with my credentials. And clicking on the banner again and home. And then since we don't have procurement, requisitions, purchase order change orders, going directly to contracts and clicking on the down arrow for contracts again. Prime contract change orders. I wonder if this is actually one to be tested. No. Just thought by chance it might be, but not the case. So to standard contracts then, and standard contract change orders. And I'm trying to get to one of the newer orders here. So I'm going to one 25, say. And checking on Vet Medicine Lab 03D307, add ceiling safety shower. And here we click on reports. There we go. So again, this is the change order. One of two. That's an interesting bit of text. I wonder if it should have said, do not duplicate original standard contract. But that's not what I'm testing. I'm just going to generate this as our standard contract. There we go. Now it's interesting that 5607 isn't directly relatable in the output that I can see. And again, they've got purchase order set up here. I wonder if eKIFM has published purchase order change order as standard contract change order in error. Just a thought, because it all tracks with purchase order. Oh my, well, that's not something I wanted to find out today, but here we are. That does look like the case. Well, it is what it is. So that's how we test standard contract in parentheses, purchase order, parentheses, change order. I'm just going to check to see if this is also the case in prod. I'm guessing it is because this is a copy of prod. So 125. There it is. in report. Yeah, purchase order, purchase order, purchase order, purchase order, purchase order. Well, shut my mouth and part my hair the other way. I'm just going to export that to compare it with what we have. And we're going to call it prod downloads. So just putting everything under the downloads folder for this PC, because that's where I'm making the zipped up backup for our before after pictures. So we've got standard order, standard contract change order, order 5607. And that's it for this test. And I'll wait to hear back from our analysts and the business regarding this oddity. I'll just make note of that in the testing spreadsheet that this is the case, be it for good or ill, for testing standard contract change order. And that's it for this live stream. Oh, this is what I was talking about. So under standard contract change order, we have purchase order verbiage everywhere. But it is being generated under the standard contract change order menu for that standard contract. The original, I'm assuming, is 5114. And the generated standard contract change order number is 5607, I believe. Thanks. So, and again, that menu, in case I didn't capture it from earlier, is do it just for UAT this time. But it's the same in both UAT and prod. So we log in as single sign-on. Click on the banner. Click on contracts. Click on contracts again and go to standard contract change order and go to page 125 here. 125. And it's this first order. Well, actually, it's not. What was it? 50. So we do have purchase order change orders. See what Chris says. So, according to Chris, the way we test purchase order, so let's see if I can test purchase order change order before I have to go. So what Chris is telling me is that we go to UAT, we go to requisitions, hold on, UAT, home, procurement, requisitions, purchase orders. And I can't take your call by Ravi. Purchase order, change order. And because I didn't create the order, I can't see it directly, but we do have an all purchase order, change order report. Yippee skippy. And I'm going to go to 100. And then do this purchase order. So they don't actually print the purchase order, change order. But they send it. Well, that sucks. And there's where we'd say email the purchase order, change order, and it would generate, I'm assuming, and send it. Well, I better check with Chris Bombeck to make sure we're not going to create that and send it in a duplicate, especially since I went to the end of the data. They might really think it is a duplicate or an additional change order. Well, I didn't quite get the testing done, but pretty close. I'm going to stop the live stream